Hey guys, welcome back to my channel where I talk about the NWSL, women's soccer, just soccer, only soccer. So it's been a while since I've made a video / podcast like this, but something happened today that really grinded my gears. And that is the San Diego Wave is threatening legal action against a former employee for sharing their story regarding unprofessionalism and potential abuse while working for the San Diego Wave. So today, Wednesday, July 3rd, 2024, Brittany Alvarado would come forward asking that the NWSL investigate the San Diego Wave and take action against club manager and president Jill Ellis for abuse. Alvarado says on Twitter, "For those who have endured abuse, for those who are afraid to speak up, I see you and I will fight for you. This is for you. The time for accountability in the NWSL is now." Her full statement reads, "The NWSL must take immediate action to remove Jill Ellis from both the San Diego Wave and the league entirely to finally protect the staff and players they have neglected and ignored for far too long. Moreover, the league has failed to fully address and implement recommendations from the Sally Yates report and the NWSL Players Association joint investigation from 2022. Every day of inaction further validates the dangerous illusion that the NWSL has properly addressed the pervasive issue of abusive leadership. Jill Ellis has no place in this game, and she has been excused for far too long. Despite my unwavering dedication to my job and the sport of women's soccer, I found myself trapped in an environment where my mental health was relentlessly compromised. It became agonizingly clear that to protect my well-being, I had no choice but to walk away from my dream job with Wave FC. Resigning wasn't merely a professional decision. It was a gut-wrenching personal sacrifice to prioritize my mental health over the career path I had poured my heart and soul into. Now, from the outside, I am resolute in my mission to spearhead a movement ensuring that mental health is unequivocally prioritized in the NWSL and beyond. Silence is complicity, and I am speaking out to ensure that current and future staff, members, and players at San Diego Wave do not have to be burdened by the same experiences that are adversely impacting myself and many other former employees' lives today. It is time for accountability and decisive action to safeguard the well-being of everyone involved in this sport. Sincerely, Brittany Alvarado, former video and creative manager." So I can confirm that Jill Ellis was indeed mentioned in the Yates report and the NWSL Players Association joint investigations. The Yates report mentions moments where Ellis was aware of abuse going on in the league. Page 7 of the report reads, "Players identified Paul Riley as verbally abusive, sexist, destructive, and stated he shit on the players every day. The survey results were shared with NWSL Executive Director Cheryl Bailey, USSF Presidents Sano Galati and Flynn, but no one provided them to the team and no action was taken." That same year, national team players reported to Galati and Jill Ellis, national team head coach, that Riley created a hostile environment and belittled and verbally abused players. Ellis was also aware of Rory Dames's abusive behavior towards players on the Chicago Red Stars. Page 94 of the report reads, "For example, in 2014, Kristen Press, a Chicago Red Stars and national team player, reported to Sano Galati, USSF president, and Jill Ellis, national team head coach at the time, that Dames created a hostile environment, verbally and emotionally abused players, had made sexist and racist remarks to players, and had retaliated against her and other players when they spoke out." According to the Yates report, no action was taken in both of these instances. Going back to Brittany, after she posted her statement, she would also include an email from a senior leadership member in the Wave. This would occur 10 days after she resigned, and I included the email here. So, on June 17, 2024, 10 days after my resignation, I received this email from a senior leadership member. These are the exact behaviors and personnel that have been consistently enabled under Jill Ellis's presidency. So this email was titled Pathetic. You are the most pathetic person I've ever met. You must have no sense of worth ethics or integrity. We are ecstatic you are no longer with the club. Yeah, pathetic, says the person with zero respect, zero professionalism, and zero leadership skills. This email is not from Jill Ellis, but given the previous claims, it appears as though Ellis is responsible for fostering an environment where stuff like this is allowed to occur and go unpunished. Also want to add, the fact that this email was sent 10 days after Brittany resigned, sent at all for that matter, shows how unhinged this person is. Like, this person is pathetic and embarrassing and does not belong in a leadership position. Like, it's almost laughable. Now on to the reason why I'm talking about this. The San Diego Wave responded. They said, San Diego Wave FC has been made aware of a recent social media post by a former employee that contains inaccurate and defamatory statements about the club. Not only does the post contain a fabricated email, but the claims made therein are categorically false, including the ones directed at our president, Jill Ellis. San Diego Wave FC currently is reviewing the situation, and it intends to pursue all legal avenues available to appropriately address this matter. Okay, so talk about pathetic. Claiming Alvarado's email is fake. The email in question looks like it could be from a work email, but I'm not entirely sure. It has the club information and address at the bottom, but Brittany did blur out the name and photo of this person, probably to protect their identity. Most likely to protect their identity. So, if an investigation was to occur, and this email was sent to Brittany from a work email, investigators will be able to trace it back regardless. And even if it was sent from a personal email, they could also find out, they could also find this person and maybe see that they worked for the San Diego Wave. Anyway, I think the NWSL needs to investigate the San Diego Wave and Jill Ellis. There is definitely something going on at the Wave. They're threatening legal action not as a way to defend themselves, but as a way to scare Brittany Alvarado and shut her up. I see this as them trying to protect themselves and hide what could really be going on at the club. What that is, we don't know yet. Angel City player Cindy LaRue would also speak up in support of Brittany. She says in a post on Twitter/X, "It's the courage of one person to start telling their story in hopes that more people will feel comfortable enough to one day tell theirs. We are with you." In another post, LaRue would say, "You feel crazy because you don't feel believed, and you question yourself because you're going against what we've always known, and that is to stay quiet. Except when one person speaks their truth, you realize that it's yours too." And another employee would come forward with her story. Before going forward, I just want to add that there's a trigger warning for mentions of suicide. Jenny Chong would say in a post on X/Twitter, "I was placed on suicide watch during my tenure with the Wave in 2022. I begged for help while my mental health declined rapidly, but was pressured to resign instead. After a failed attempt, I left to save myself. It breaks my heart that nothing has changed in the past 2 years." Jenny would also add, "When I considered freelancing with the Wave after I left, my former boss, no longer there, offered to pay me $200 per game while hiring her white male friend for $1K, told me that I'm not good enough to earn more." In another post, Jenny would add, "I've stayed silent after I got a taste of retaliation, and I'm still fearful since I still work in women's soccer. But my silence has contributed to more people enduring the same abuse. We need to protect people on and off the field." I honestly can't fault Jenny Chong for not coming forward sooner, especially when it seems as though she was threatened with retaliation or had been retaliated against. But this furthers my belief that the San Diego Wave are not above retaliating. I'm wondering if they've retaliated or threatened to retaliate against other current or former employees. With that in mind, the NWSL needs to investigate the San Diego Wave, its leadership, and Jill Ellis. Abusers have no place in the NWSL. no place in women's soccer. If abuse is taking place, something needs to be done about it in order to protect the players, staff, and other employees at the Wave. Anyway, that is all I have for you guys today or tonight, and I'll see you all in the next one. Later.